Yep, definitely want to walk. It's strange because sitting still is like the only hard thing right now. I'm feeling a little bit of anxiety, but as soon as I start moving, all of that anxiety just washes away. Hello to all of you gorgeous people watching this video today. In today's video, we are going to cover 3-MMC. I first learned about this compound during my podcast with Mark Haddon, the executive director of MAPS Canada.
The pink fuzzy cloud of MDMA is the perfect substance for trauma treatment. I don't think anything will ever substitute for that. But for more talk therapy, I think 3-MMC will be perfect.
You know, I jotted it down and someone commented like, oh, Adam writes down new drug. Well, you weren't wrong. What is 3-MMC? Well, it is closely related to 4-MMC, also known as Meow Meow, MCAT, or Mephedrone, which a lot of people can remember back from the UK glory days where you could go to gas stations to buy this junk, and it was commonly sold as bath salts. Mephedrone is one of the original, the OG gangster of the bath salt scene. In fact, a lot of people did compare it to MDMA, stating that it actually felt more euphoric for them, albeit more fiendish as well, meaning it gave more of a euphoric rush. Now, if you look at the molecules, you got Meow Meow over here, and then you got Meow Meow's little sister or cousin over here. And as you can see, they're pretty much identical except for this carbon, which has just been moved down a little bit. Now, this does pose for a slightly different type of experience, and most of the people who do claim 3-MMC is a fantastic compound are ones who simply did not try mephedrone. But if you really do scour the internet, you're going to find some reports of people stating that they do prefer 3-MMC. I've never personally tried mephedrone, but I have tried meth alone, and considering Mark Haddon is the person who recommended this compound, albeit for couples therapy, I have high hopes for this. I have a feeling it's going to be better than a lot of people think. Again, it's all about your intent. What are you taking it for? Consuming it just for the camera and to make a safety video on it probably isn't going to elicit the types of effects that are going to highlight its beneficial features, but you know, who knows? Anyway, we are going to make this video as scientifically accurate as possible. I am going to first test my heart rate, reagent test the compound, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that so that we can be sure we're actually consuming 3-MMC and it's not cut with something. And we are going to weigh our accurate dose with this scale that does go up to the microgram range. This thing's a beast. This thing also costs an insane amount of money. If accuracy is what you're after, which also relates to safety, you're gonna want to avoid something like the smart way that's only gonna go 2 decimal points over. You need at least 3. Now I have compared the readouts from this $20 scale to the $700 scale, and this was pretty damn close. So I don't really want to shit on the Gem 20s. It's actually a pretty decent scale. You get it for a pretty decent sale. So I'm gonna put a link below to the Gem 20 just to help you guys out who want to be safe with their use. This compound does appear to be physically safe when consumed in normal to average doses. There are some reported deaths from people consuming it, but largely those are when they mix it with other compounds. Even in average doses, a drug becomes exponentially more dangerous once you do mix it. For instance, with stimulants, you don't want to mix 2 stimulants together because that can cause extreme strain on your heart, and you also don't want to mix them with monoamine oxidase inhibitors because that can cause serotonin syndrome. For a complete list of dangerous interactions, I have included a link in the profile. 3-MMC belongs to the cathinone class of drugs, which are closely related to amphetamines. It has a high affinity for the dopamine and norepinephrine receptors, slightly less for serotonin. It's not even going to release the same amount of serotonin as mephedrone. The primary effects of 3-MMC are going to be an increase in physical stimulation and some euphoria. Higher doses causing much more physical stimulation and, of course, euphoria. Also, it does have lots of jaw clenching. People state that they just can't help but gurn and like make these crazy I'm on fucking drugs and I'm screwed out of my mind faces. How it does differ from, say, traditional amphetamines is it causes the user to be more in tune with their feelings. It promotes sharing. Mark Haddon stated it best here.
If MDMA is I love you, 3-MMC is this is who I am, who are you? So it's reflective and it's connecting and it's bonding, but it's not colored with love. and it's more talky and less touchy.
In other words, if you're taking it with, say, a partner or a loved one, even some close friends, it's going to prompt you to want to talk about your feelings, and it's going to act almost kind of like a truth serum. It's going to make you want to be more honest with the person, and it is going to promote bonding. How that translates to doing it on your own, well, I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. All right, let's get on with this video. The first thing we're going to do is test our, where is she? 3-MMC. Before you can test your drugs, you need test kits. And for testing things like cathinones, you're gonna need more than 2 or 3. You can find a link to a test kit in the video description. If all you can afford is these traditional 3, which are the cheapest, then by all means grab those ones. It's better than nothing. But I am going to show you what the results are when you test it properly. Now, the first thing you're gonna wanna do is get a ceramic white plate. You need white so that you can clearly see the reaction, and you just need a small amount of your compound. So we're gonna make 5 little piles here. I'm gonna film myself doing this with the GoPro, POV style. We're not doing any pornography here video. So here we go. We got my my head camera on. All right, you guys get to see firsthand what it looks like. Let's test our drugs. Is this thing recording? How are you supposed to? I never use this shit. How do you know? Yeah, it's recording. All right. I'm gonna watch it back and it's gonna be like, damn, it wasn't recording. Shit. First one is the Marquis. Whoops, just needed 1 drop. Got a little too many on there. And we are going to watch the fizzle. Next we move on to Mr. Mech. Shit, I missed. Come on, Mac, you can do it. Yeah, there you go, baby. Followed by good old Mandalorian mandolin. As you can tell, I'm in a very silly mood today. Oh shit, my pals are too big. It knocked it out of the way. Oh, there we go. So we got what we were expecting was no reaction out of those 2. And we want to see the mandolin do like a yellowy orange thing, I believe. And it doesn't help that the mandolin starts off being yellowy green. That's fucked. But it does look like we're getting some faint orange fizzle. We're going to move on to Liberman. Liberman, testing drugs and saving lives. There we go. Liberman is doing its shit. That's what we expect. It is turning orange. Perfect. This does look like it probably is 3-MMC. And now we're going to move on to Simons. So for Simons, the first thing we're going to do is drop a Simons. Simon, how you doing? Open mind, baby. Simon, I got your reagent here, bro. We're going to do a... There we go. First you got to do the A. And now we go to Simons B. And then some reagents are like this. You need to do them each separate. There we go. 1 drop of A, 1 drop of B, and now we wait and see. I'm a rhymer. Oh shit, it's turning blue. Yeah, so we got a bit of a yellow from the, was it mandolin? Yeah, I think it was the mandolin gave us a bit of a yellow. Marquis and Mech did nothing, as expected. We got a blue coming out of the Simons. Thanks, Simon. And an orange coming out of the Liberman. Now, I don't know if Simon was supposed to turn blue. Let me go check the internet. Yeah. Fuck yeah. All right. It turned blue. This is all good news. It looks like we actually have some pure 3-MMC. And this is why you must use more than 1 reagent to safely test your drugs. As you can see, all of these color reactions were clean, meaning there's no, like what a dirty color reaction looks like is there might be 2 colors that start forming, or you'll see like specks of something else, and I've seen that before. Or if it's not the compound at all, instead of blue, maybe that would have turned like pink. I don't know, I'm just throwing numbers out of or throwing colors out of a hat here. Or instead of orange, that one would have done nothing. If it was, say, methylone, for instance, then the Marquis would have turned yellow instead of having no reaction. Then you'd be like, oh, this is actually methylone. Now, my anxiety is lessened, I can safely consume it and feel like I'm not going to die from cross-contamination or misidentification of compounds. Because another thing that happens is these companies, even if it's from a research chemical website, well, they've in the past mislabeled bags. So it is absolutely vital that you test everything before you ingest it. Now that we've got the testing out of the way, and now that we know we have 3-MMC, we are going to move on to weighing. Of course, you probably aren't going to have this amazingly wicked lab-grade scale at your disposal. But, you know, you gotta work with what you got. I should probably plug it in. We are going to get our little weight boat here. Gonna throw the boat on the scale. We're gonna tear that shit. It's gonna level out to 0. And now we are going to take our 3mm, not 3mmC. 3mmC. Watch it just like all shatter, and then I take a big sneeze and breathe it all in. And yeah, we are going to weigh out our dose, which is 150 milligrams. Shit. All right, a little too much. Got 230 there. Bam, close enough. There you go. We got 150 milligram accurately weighed dose here, ready for consumption. Oh shit. Next stage is testing my resting heart rate, which will probably be slightly elevated due to a little bit of nervousness. Just alone doing experiments for the greater good of science. Human curiosity. Excuse to do drugs is YouTube. Oh, baby. 124/65 with a pulse of 54 beats a minute. Now I do want to note that this is pretty high for me lately. It's very much so normal. It is just high for me lately. It does indicate that I'm a little nervous, so we're going to try it again. Let's see if I can try to calm down. Interesting. Tried to calm down, and now I'm getting 105/55. I don't know. I don't know if I 100% trust this damn thing. Before we continue on with this video, I want to make it absolutely clear that I'm making these videos for harm reduction and safety. I do not recommend that anybody watching consumes any compound. The best form of harm reduction really is going to be abstinence, which means just don't take fucking drugs. But if you're going to consume them, I want to show you guys how to do so safely, and it wouldn't be a complete video without actually showing the complete effects, which I will be the guinea pig for, so yes, you're welcome. Yeah, we are now going to move on to the physical aspect, and, you know, just showcasing how these compounds do affect a relatively healthy individual.
According to YouTube's guidelines shown here, videos which intend to educate are documentary by nature and do not glorify the use of drugs. Both abide by the community safety guidelines and are eligible for monetization. The following video does not glorify the use of drugs. Instead, it attempts to be non-biased while delivering vital life-saving information disguised as entertainment.
Now, as per YouTube guidelines, I'm not going to show the actual consumption of this compound. I mean, for all you guys know, this isn't even the same compound. I could have just got some flour and thrown in this little thing. We are just going to cut to the effects scene. Enjoy, guys. It has been 5 minutes so far, and already in line with pretty much all entactogens and all stimulants. They all make me have to shit, and I have to do that right now. Okay, so just pooed. I pooed twice. We're 12 minutes in, and I was just taking a dump, playing some GBA here, because I'm a big nerd, and I did notice, already, it's been like 12 minutes, and one of the first signs for me, besides pooping, is stretching and also feeling very cold. I feel freezing, so what I'm gonna do is turn on the fireplace. I also want to use this opportunity to not only wear the Psych Substance hoodie, but explain that We currently have just over 100 that I just put up on the website, and this is the last time you're ever going to be able to buy one of this design. We're changing our logo. I think more than half of them are on for $10 cheaper. So I think they were normally selling for $45 each, and now there's a bunch that are on for $35, and it's primarily because they are what I consider misprints, but what most people would consider just normal. For instance, if you look at this sleeve, okay, it's a little more faded than the rest of it, and you can honestly barely tell. So I consider that one that's not perfect, because, you know, I'm a perfectionist, and all of the ones that say have a little fading are on for $10 off. Yeah, we do have many good ones also available. I am just saying, for those of you who can't afford the perfectly made ones, there is now options. Some of the other misprints include things like, say, this part of the waistband might be flipped on some of them, so like the heads are facing the wrong direction, or at the end of the sleeve the heads are facing the wrong direction. So some of them actually have no fading, they're perfect, they just might have like a flip thing, which again I consider a misprint, and which we are selling for $10 off. Now you don't get to pick which kind of misprint you get, but yeah, we just got just over 100 of these, and then this type of blotter art hoodie is never going to be available again. So if you do want to pick one of these up, I highly suggest you head on over to, now that I'm cold, it's a great time to wear it, psychsubstance.shop, and you can pick one up today. If this video performs well, then you honestly are only going to have like a few hours to pick them up, because a lot of people have been asking for these, and they are going to sell out fast. Okay, timing update. 10:13, but almost 35 minutes in, and definitely feeling some energy, wanting to get up and move. Yeah, it doesn't feel good to sit here. Whew. Definitely active. Everything's starting to feel really warm, and yeah, dare I say euphoric. I don't think I can say that on YouTube. I'll just put that in the website version. Everything's feeling very warm. I don't like it at all. It's terrible. Yeah, these effects are awful. Whew. Awful, awful, awful. Bad, bad, bad. I'm feeling some warm rushes from my toes, kind of rising up to my knees. It's like a encompassing glowy feeling. Breathing is interesting. My brain feels very buzzy, like I feel very aware of everything going on in my body. It's weird. I can feel the stimulation in my kneecaps. It almost feels like there's an energy coursing from the tips of my toes up to my knees and then back down. It's going like a wave like this, enticing me to move. It definitely doesn't want me to sit here. So I'm gonna try to combat that by some meditative breathing right now. Oh, deep breaths. That's where it's at, man. Those deep breaths. My skin's feeling clammy. Yeah, for sure, clammy. Very warm. Fireplace feels good though. I don't want to turn it off. The effects are definitely very mild, but noticeable. It's not overwhelming to the point where it's like I couldn't function. Okay, we are now 50 minutes in. I am going to do a heart rate check because this would be considered peak. I definitely do feel pro-social, like I want to talk, which is interesting because lately I haven't been feeling social at all. But let's see the science behind this. Let's see how it looks. Screw it. Now I'm feeling like clothes are the enemy. Wanting to touch. Yes, I now get topless every video. First of all, these compounds, this is what they do. They make it so that you don't want to wear clothes. It's like you're both cold and then the clothes feel funny on your skin. My skin is very sensitive to the point where the clothes feel strange. See, if I didn't have the fireplace on, I'd have no choice. But with the fireplace, I can get away with this. Yeah, let's do this this test. Should be higher. Wow, that's a lot faster, huh? Do you hear that? The beeps are really going. Ooh, all right. So now we're at 160 over 100 with a pulse of 109. So again, that's during peak effects. So as the effects lessen, that should all lessen. Like the peak is when the effects are the most intense. It's a dramatic difference from the baseline though. Like it's almost double, man. Pulse is double. These things do have a pretty drastic effect on your cardiovascular system, which is why, like another reason why extended use is dangerous. Really any use is dangerous. You want to avoid these kinds of compounds. They're not safe. A lot of people use stuff like this as an escape. Like, let's be real. They use it as an escape. They're not happy with their lives and they want to feel good. I think the most interesting thing to document isn't really going to be like these good feeling effects. It's probably going to be to document the come down. What goes up must come down, man. My mother is calling. This should be interesting. Let's answer the phone. Hello? I'm good. How are you?
Did your blood pressure go higher?
Well, that's weird. Yeah, my blood pressure definitely went higher. What are you, psychic?
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Because I thought maybe you were anemic too, because that could bring it down on top of it if you're not taking your iron.
Yeah, my blood pressure was very low yesterday. I ate a lot and now I'm a lot better. I haven't felt dizzy at all today. I think it was just from eating.
Please, yeah, that's, you know what, it's, just make sure you eat. It's, yeah. Did you take iron?
When are you and Dad going to eat those mushrooms I gave you?
Well, today I got the poops and a headache from drinking wine, so I'm just lying down. So I can't do it today. I'm so glad it went up. So it went back up to normal?
More or less. It's still a little low, but it definitely went up. It's just, I think it's just eating. I'm fine.
Okay, that's good to hear. Because you know how I get.
Yeah, you worry a lot.
Okay, love you a lot, Adam. Okay, you take good care of yourself. Okay,
I will.
I love you.
Love you.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, that was cute. Thanks, Mom. See, normally I would not answer that call, especially if I'm filming. She worries a lot. She's very stressed all the time. Yeah, in this state, I definitely want to communicate more. It's an interesting effect. Like, I feel an actual urge to want to talk to people versus normally I'm a complete hermit. Wow, something that actually gets you out of your shell. She's pretty psychic though, eh? She called right as I measured, and it definitely went higher. I want to clench my jaw. I just want to do that. So yeah, I'm just going to sit here with my jaw super clenched. All right, guys, we are now exactly 1 hour in. You can probably tell my voice sounds different. This is my I'm happy voice, I guess. I really want to clench. No effects compared to MDMA, definitely not as intense. MDMA, especially at a comparable dose, I'd be like floored. I am going to try a meditation.
Okay, let's begin today's session with eyes open.
Oh, that's different.
And simply gaze into space. It doesn't matter what you're looking at. It could be a cloudless sky or a wall a few feet in front of you. Or you could be staring at an object on your desk. But whatever you're looking at, let your gaze be very wide. And become aware of the sensation of breathing. You might imagine that you're breathing in the world. Simply breathe the visual field in.
Yep, definitely want to walk. Hour and 10 minutes in, and all I I want to do is walk. It's strange because sitting still is like the only hard thing right now. I'm feeling a little bit of anxiety, but as soon as I start moving, all of that anxiety just washes away. Walking that way, walking this way. I said it was a talking substance, but it feels strange talking by yourself. I want to talk to someone. It's been pretty much exactly 2 hours, just over 2 hours. And I understand what people mean about the short duration. It's already starting to, like come down. It was very short. So anytime you have a compound that's very short, it's going to come equipped with a fiendish redosing demon that's like stapled to its back, where anybody who takes it, as soon as the effects start coming on, it like teases you. It's like, oh, this could be super intense, and then it wears off quickly, so then that demon kicks in and he's like, you can get there if you just keep taking more. Which at the time might feel like a good idea, but anything more than one redose and you're in for a nightmare of a come down. Even one redose might be pushing it. Yeah, the come downs really aren't worth it. If you're gonna take these compounds, you need to know. See, I'm rubbing my head because I'm like, do I know? I do. You need to know when to let it go and move on with your day or your life. We're now 3 hours and 20 minutes in. I decided to give going for a walk a try, but it is remarkable how normal I feel. Like at this point, it almost feels like just a complete back to normal after about 3 hours. It's very strange taking these things that most people take at night in the morning. It's almost 2. And I feel normal, like almost like nothing happened. Things started coming down around the 2-hour mark. That is crazy. I feel a little low, which is absolutely normal when your brain has been drained of some neurotransmitters. It's not terrible. The real test would be how I feel tomorrow. All right, guys, this is my update the next morning. And I have to mention again that I have never taken any compound, similar to MDMA that early in the morning. And I was kind of grateful and not grateful for it. Grateful in the sense that usually that come down you get the next morning, well, I went through it right away, so I didn't have to deal with it, because this morning I woke up and I feel great because the dose was low, and since I didn't go all crazy into redoses like people commonly do with fiendish substances, my brain was spared. I did, however, experience a pretty nasty come down all throughout yesterday. So in retrospect, dealing with an all-day come down, and for all I know, I might start feeling lower later today, who knows? I don't think it was worth it whatsoever. Not for a 3-hour experience. Again, maybe if you're doing it with the therapist and if you're with like a partner, but just on your own or as something to chase after hedonistic pleasure, like chasing the dragon type of thing, it wasn't worth it. 100% wasn't worth it. Would not repeat. It's interesting looking back because you can see me talking about how good I felt, but it's like when you weigh feeling good for about 40 minutes to feeling bad for the rest of the day, and if you took more, potentially for a week, the scales tip highly against it. Used as a tool, good, helps you talk. Used as a pleasure-seeking thing, fuck that. No way. Would not repeat.